This year we've had kind of a very female-centric festival in a lot of ways. We've had a lot of films with strong female characters, a lot of films with very strong female themes in them, and we've had people coming up to us going, "Oh, I'm seeing a lot of films about like women who've got like problems of one kind or another," and I'm like, "Yeah, that was deliberate," which actually wasn't originally, but it started to become deliberate at a certain point because we started to see the themes developing. So we have like, let's think off the top of my head, first night, for example, we had Stillborn, which is about pregnancy and postnatal depression, and so that's quite female-centric. We had Replaced today, which is about images of beauty and the aging process and trying to preserve that. We had Poor Agnes yesterday, which is a serial killer film, but it's very much it's almost like we would describe it as a romance for serial killers or a romance for psychopaths. We have, we have MFA tomorrow, which is, it's a rape revenge movie, but it deals very much from the point of view of rape, of the fallout of rape, and it's very much torn from American headlines at the moment. It stars Francesca Eastwood, who is Clint Eastwood's daughter by way of Frances Fisher, and she's very much her father's daughter. She has an awful lot of his steel and grit and presence. So she's this small, slightly built woman, and she'll suddenly start channeling Clint, and she'll look about 8 foot tall. So that's really interesting to watch. It's watching a very strong female lead. And the film is taken very much from the current climate in America and campus rapes and stuff like that. So it's dealing with a very, very hot topic issue in a very confrontational way. We're bookending the festival with sort of northern powerhouse films. We got Habit. We began with Habit, and we're closing with Attack on the Adult Baby. So it's a case of.
Tell us about this film.
Well, I mean, Habit's based on a novel by a local author, Stephen McGee, he's actually from Liverpool, but he's based in Manchester, and he has been for a number of years. And he wrote a book, I believe it was for his master's degree. It started out as a project for his master's degree, his first novel. And it's very much about the city of Manchester and the kind of underbelly of the city of Manchester. And our festival directors, Rachel Richardson-Jones and Stephen Halligan, read the book, thought, yeah, you know what, this would make a great film. We know the locations, we can feel it, we know the city. And so it became a film. It very much translates very quickly to a film because it's quite a short novel. And it's very much a kind of Manchester underbelly. It's very, very much about the city of Manchester. It taps into that in a very, very kind of gritty and visceral way. Adult Babies is completely the opposite. Adult Babies is a kind of grotesque, baroque, everything but the kitchen sink, sort of splatter satire at best. I guess it's very sort of scatological and splattery, but it's very satiric as well. It's very much about, you know, the class system and the way it works and the way. It's by Dominic Brunt and Joanne Mitchell, who we've known for a number of years and who we've screened other films by in the past. I guess Dominic Brunt's probably best known to people for his role in Emmerdale, as Paddy in Emmerdale, but he's also a very keen horror fan. He's very much involved in the horror community and the horror world, if you like. And so this is his third film, his and Joe's third film as sort of a director, producer, writer team, and it's pretty crazy. It's pretty out there. So we've got that. Borley Rectory. It's the World Festival premiere. It's there was technically a world premiere, but it was primarily cast and crew and private invite. We've got the first, I guess, public festival premiere in the world, and this is a extraordinary thing. It's based on a very real case. Borley Rectory is a real place, and it's reputedly the most haunted house in Britain, as it was labelled by a man called Harry Price. Harry Price was a psychic researcher, one of those guys back in the 1920s and 30s, and he did a case study of Borley Rectory. And this film, which is 6, 7, 8 years in the making, is the brainchild and the passion project of a filmmaker called Ashley Thorpe. And Ashley Thorpe he's pretty much done this single-handedly. It's a mixture of live action and rotoscoping and digital effects and computer animation and old stills and bits of film footage and bits of digital animation, and you end up with it's extraordinarily artificial in a way, but it's also going for a very retro feel. It's all shot in black and white to feel like something from the 1940s or 30s. It's got this very beautiful visual style to it. It's black and white, and it has a very interesting and very cultish cast. It's got Reece Shearsmith would be the big name to most people from the League of Gentlemen. It has Steve First, who's a well-known character player, used to be in a bunch of adverts on television, everyone knows his face. It has Richard Strange, it has Nicholas Vince, it's narrated by Julian Sands, who does the voice. So it's an interesting and unusual cast, but it's very much and it's kind of sort of like a dramatised documentary, I guess. It's an exploration of the legends surrounding the house, and almost like an immersive experience of what it would be like to be there, because the house itself is long gone. Bawley Rectory is long gone. I think it was destroyed in the 40s or something. But you know, they've kind of reimagined it from old photographs, from accounts of it, and they've imagined bits. We had 68 Kill, and 68 Kill is the film directed by Trent Hager, who is. We showed his earlier film Chop, and Trent Hager's a character in horror for a number of years now. He started out working at Troma, and he's an actor and a writer and a director. We've got Better Watch Out, which is a kind of extremely dark Christmas movie that's Home Alone. It's kind of like a Home Alone. It starts off in that you think that you're going down that route, and then it goes somewhere else, and it's much darker than people have anticipated. And of course, we have Leatherface, which is the new reboot, I guess, of the franchise. But it's interesting. It's Tobe Hooper's last credit. He was producer on the film. It's Bustillo and Mori, who the French directors, who probably best known for Inside, this extraordinarily visceral French New Extremist film from a few years ago. And they basically, the thought of them taking on the whole Chainsaw Massacre, they're going to take us to some dark places, because that's what they do as filmmakers. So that's pretty exciting. It's always a good lineup. I think this year, we always say every year it's our best lineup, it's our most varied lineup, and we never know if that's true or not. We always think it is, but with the feedback so far this year has been pretty much suggests that we're hitting on all sixes. I mean, it's going well.